This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I am John Deloney, joined here with my good friend. You know what? He's better looking than me too, Mr. Chris Hogan. And today we're going to talk about your money, your life, your relationships, what's going on in your heart and your mind. Give us a call at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Chris, how are we doing, man?
I'm good, buddy, and I am ready to take the calls. I don't try to butter me up, John, because you and I will fight on here. We will disagree, but you know what? That's part of being real.
We don't disagree. We do, actually.
Well, we tangle up a little bit. It's because I'm the kind one, and you're a bit rowdy.
I just like data and facts and common sense. You know, that's not your strong suit, and that's okay.
I love the people.
We got a place for everybody.
And you gave people the number, but they can also find us on social media. At Ramsey Show, you can find him. At John Deloney, you can find me. At Chris Hogan 360. The bottom line is we're here for you. Now, the way this show works is you pick up the phone and call. You tell us your issue. You tell us the stuff that's going on in the relationship. If you're battling some depression, some frustration, irritation, or anxiety, Dr. John Deloney is going to give you an answer. And if you got a money question, you got to call in and we're going to talk about it. I'm going to walk you through it and try to give you some guidance, because when you have a game plan, John, you can have success.
I'll give a money answer, but it won't be as right as yours.
Well, I don't know about all
I'll
that.
keep my mouth
but
shut.
especially, listen, we definitely want the opportunity to referee. And what I mean by this is for you to call in with the situation and you let Dr. John and I weigh in and give you an answer, and that way we can give you a verdict. And then you can go back and make stuff happen.
Man, now you're a lawyer and a judge.
See, we're doing all. I get false confidence when I got you on here. We can do some stuff. All right, pick up the phone and call us. Seriously, 888-825-5225. Again, that's 888-825-5225. We really would love to be able to talk to you. All right, we're going to the phones. First and foremost, we've got Jesse on the line. Jesse, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, focused and not finished, buddy. What's on your mind for John and I to talk about with you today?
All right. So we got a bit of a situation here.
Your parents left on a week-long vacation.
Basically, so this has been going on probably for the past 5 years. But so I lent my first cousin. I lent him some money. I lent him $5,000 a while ago, and he still have yet to pay me back. And he told me originally that he just needs it for a job. So I was like, okay, no problem. It's family. I'll lend him the money. And then in 2 weeks, he didn't give me the money. And I guess that job fell through. And I've been asking him, especially right after I called him all the time, almost calling him too much. Where's the money? Where's the money?
What's he say?
It never. And I just said to him directly, hey, I know a lot is going on, but, I did lend you that money, and if you can please pay it back. I was even willing to do a payment plan, things like that.
Right.
And he gave me a little bit. So I think now the balance is around still $3,000. But now there's no relation with him. I don't talk to him whatsoever. I used to have really good relations with him. Yeah. His mom, my aunt, his kids, everything. But now it's just completely done and broken. And now I'm just at a point where I don't know if I should just keep going with it and just keep asking, because that really didn't seem to work. I even asked his mom. She even paid me a payment one time, and now I just don't kind of know where to go from here.
All right, Jesse. So you lent him $5,000, and he's paid you back around $2,000?
Yes,
okay.
Exactly, yeah.
And now he doesn't, he's acting like he doesn't know you.
Oh yeah.
You're a stranger.
He actually said that I'm in the wrong for being childish and not knowing about responsibilities, because he does have a lot going on. He has a family, and he kind of put it on me where I'm in the wrong, but I was willing, to help him and to do a payment plan.
I understand. And so I can't wait to hear Dr. Deloney chime in on this, but I'm going to go ahead and go first here. If you lent him $5,000 and he paid you back $2,000, let me do this.
Right.
I'm from Kentucky, so it takes me a minute. You got a $3,000 lesson here, baby.
That's exactly right.
You've got a $3,000 lesson. And you know what? That's why we talk about whenever you start to get involved with money and family, without some, and you had understanding. You said this is a loan. He called it a loan, but now he's acting like it's not. And I think the best thing for you to do is to let it go and for you to be able to move on. Because, I mean, obviously, are you working? Do you have a job?
Yeah.
Do you know about the baby steps?
I'm familiar with them. Yeah, I'm currently paying off all my debt right now.
Don't play with me, Jesse.
My girlfriend and I.
What do you mean you're familiar with them? What kind of debt do you got?
I have some student loan debt.
Okay.
I have $17,000 in student loan.
Okay.
I have a car payment as well as also 17.
Okay. And how much are you making right now?
I'm making $40,000 a year.
Okay.
Right.
So if I'm you, I mean, it sounds like you've kind of gotten there. You're frustrated and irritated about it, which you have every right to be. But I'm going to count this as a $3,000 lesson. Move on with your life and let this be one of those learning lessons, unfortunately, because it's not worth the relationship, and it sounds like to me, it's more of your cousin's issue than yours.
Yeah. Jesse, when you loan money to family, don't give it to them. For all of your badgering, you can put a price tag on the cost of that relationship, and it was $2,000. You beat him up. You got $2,000 back. Does he owe it to you? Yeah. Are you going to get it? No. And now you're going after his mom too. What you got to ask yourself at the end of the day is, what's it worth? Right? What's it worth? You got a taste of his character. You got a taste of, and that may not be a fair statement. You got a taste of some messy situations he found himself in. Yeah. Either way, it is what it is. I'm with Chris, man. Let it ride. Have some peace in your heart, dude. And it's a $3,000 expense there. You got a $2,000 price tag on that friendship, man. Don't go after his mom. Just stop.
Yeah,
just stop.
I really would. And it's hard, man. I mean, especially because I know Jesse used the language loan all alone.
Well, and the buddy did
and
too.
And the cousin. This is a cousin.
Yeah.
Cousin called it a loan.
Yeah.
Right. That's why he paid back some of it. And this is one of those things where it can change the family dynamic.
Right. But I'm gonna say both of them are at fault here.
Oh,
right?
yes.
And you know what? I'm not even going to say the guy asking for money, because I've been in situations myself, man, I get pretty desperate.
Yeah.
And I may ask a question I normally wouldn't ask.
Right.
In those moments, someone who loves me is going to have to put up that boundary and protect me, help me from myself, right?
Yeah.
And say, man, I love you too much. I'm going to give you some money, or I'm not. I'm going to say no to you.
Well, you said it the right way. It's one of those where if you're in a position to do it, give it.
Give it away.
And that way you just mentally you don't have any kind of hurdles or issues in the relationship.
Every time you see him, it's not that weird. Hey, bro,
that's right.
I'm calling you. I'm getting after you. Stop.
Where's my money?
Right,
you don't want to do that. That's rude. All right, y'all, we're coming back. Stay tuned. This is The Ramsey Show.
Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit nationalguard.com/Ramsey to find out more. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show.
I am your host, Chris Hogan, and joining me this hour is John Deloney, and we are excited to be here to take your calls. We're ready, people. We are properly caffeinated, wide awake. John drinks tea. I drink coffee, but it's okay.
You said that so dismissively.
It's just the difference between the two of us, and it's fine. But listen, we want you to call. Listen, be quiet, John. I've got to tell the people the number to call. The number to call is 888-825-5225. Again, that's 888-825-5225. Love to hear from you. I harass this man, but he is doing great
tea
things.
Drinkers are people too. I drink coffee, and I'm sitting here defending tea drinkers. They're all right.
It's fine, John. Listen, he's got the Dr. John Deloney Show, where he's got new episodes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can catch him on YouTube, and any place that you listen to podcasts, you can get real straight talk on relationships. You can get information on mental health challenges, the tools that you need to cut through the depression to get clarity and understand the steps to take. You can do it. And you've actually got a quick read out, John. His book, it's called Redefining Anxiety. And a lot of people in 2020 found out.
They got a little wound up.
They got a taste of anxiety on a level probably people didn't understand.
You know, we walk through life thinking we control a lot. And some folks say that 2020 reminded us we lost control. No, we didn't. It just reminded us a little control over anything that we have.
Yeah.
Right? Very, very little.
I mean, you think about it. It changed the way we work.
Yep.
The pandemic. It changed the way that we interact with family.
With each other, with ourselves.
Church.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think, you've told me before, if left unchecked and not really dug into, it could have lasting rippling effects.
Man, my colleagues who are mental health professionals across the country, you can talk about white knuckling it.
Yeah.
There's people that are terrified of the downstream ripple effects. People don't make good decisions when they've leaving a season of this magnitude of a mental and psychological and physical challenge, right?
Yeah.
Dave always says we don't make good decisions when we're stressed. Man, we are coming out of a season of some of the most heightened stress any of us have ever endured. Like hundreds of thousands of people passed away. And man, we got to really band together over the next couple of years to recognize, man, we're all in this thing together.
Yeah.
Be with one another, because one ridiculous decision on top of another ripples through these communities, man. It can make a mess, right?
Yeah. So we got to get clarity on it, and we got to understand it. We got to get real with ourselves and get the right plan. And so, I've talked about controlling the controllables.
That's it.
And that is a factor with your money, but also in life. So give us a call. We're here to help you gain control. We're here to help you get a clear vision on the next step, the direction you're going, and we'd love to talk with you. That number again to call is 888-825-5225. All right, going to the line. I've got Alex is on the line. Alex, how are you?
Hi, Chris. How are you doing?
Oh, buddy, I'm focused and not finished. How are you today?
I'm doing good. So I got a quick question for you. I just started a business about a year and a half ago, and the business is doing great. We're
good.
It's just 2 months in, and we're projecting it maybe tripling what we did last year. Things are well, but I've got a kind of dilemma, because all these people keep coming to me like, hey man, you guys need to apply for this PPP money. There's money. Everybody else is getting all this money. I know a realtor friend, they got $27,000. This person's getting $20,000, like all this stuff. And I've got two philosophies on it. I've got no problem finding every single tax deduction to keep the money away from the thieves, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, on the other side of it is this a handout? Because I'm not looking for a handout. I'm looking to keep the money that I earn.
Right.
I'm not looking for the government to give me money that I don't deserve.
Right.
And so all these people are telling me well, everybody else is doing it. Everybody else is going to do it. Why don't you do too?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here thinking you only have principles when it matters. You show your true character when it matters. And is this a handout, or is this getting tax money back?
Right.
Okay.
And
I just need
Tell me this. What line of work are you in?
Plumbing.
You're in plumbing. And how many team members do you have?
3.
And you said business you opened a year and a half ago. Business is not just doing well, it's doing great. You saying you're about to triple your profits, your revenue from a year and a half ago. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. And business has been good for you. So I'm going to tell you this PPP loan, and I'm glad you called it a loan because that's exactly what it is. People started calling it a grant. People started calling it X, Y, and Z. Here's the reality. The role of that money for this loan, which you and I both know, Alex, a loan is something you pay back. With this, it could be used for rent. It could be used for paying your team members. There were specific things it could be used for. Here's the issue. People are just now following through and trying to submit to find out how much of this is actually going to be forgiven and then how much they're going to owe. So I'm gonna tell you this. A lot of the people that are telling you and that are hyped up about, hey, we got this free money. First of all, number one, it wasn't free. It was a loan. And the amount of paperwork they're having to jump through right now, I'm going to tell you something. They've got a rude awakening happening because people are submitting these, and from what I've heard from at least 4 of my banker friends, on average about 45% of them are being declined, which means that people are now going to start to get the payment plan that they're going to need for this money. So if I'm you, I'm avoiding this like the plague. Even when businesses were calling in during the pandemic and talking about it, I was trying to advise them, do everything but this. Like, this is not something that is ever going to go away. So if you owe the money, you owe it to the government. They'll take as long as they have to come get it or come after you. So it's not something I'd advise.
And I love his heart on principle, right?
Yeah.
So you find yourself out on an island, right? When you start looking around, and this is not just about the PPP loan. This is about anything, right?
Yeah.
I've got this principle that I want to work real hard, and if I need help, I'm going to ask for it. I don't need any help, but everyone else is just taking this. Is this a free for all? Am I an idiot here? Right?
Am I missing out?
What am I doing here? And his heart is, I've got a principle that says I don't borrow money. I work really hard, and I want to keep what's mine, fair.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So should I go ahead and violate my principles because everyone else is? No.
Yeah.
No.
Right? I really wouldn't. And the mindset around it, again, of you're having to submit paperwork to find out how much of this is going to be forgiven or what your bill is going to be.
And let's be honest, man, we don't have this money to be loaning.
What do you mean, John?
We the people do not have this money to be loaning. It doesn't exist. And so we're going to pay it back
It's the government.
soon?
No, it's the government.
Or we're all going to pay it back later?
We print it. We just print more.
Christopher.
No, I know, man. Listen to me. It's a problem.
We're all going to have to pay this back.
It's a problem. It is a problem. Whenever you start adding billions and trillions
with a T,
yes, to the bottom line, and we're doing it with the stroke of a pen, it's going to be a problem. We're going to have to. That bill is coming.
It's coming, and you know who's going to pay for it? My kids.
All of us.
My grandkids.
Yeah, all of us.
People who had no role in this, no participation in this, are going to be on the hook for it because I couldn't say no.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't have hard conversations. I couldn't live within my means. And are there people across this country struggling? Holy smokes, yes. Right?
Oh, without a doubt.
I'm all about helping my neighbor.
Yes.
But when good folks like this say, am I crazy for living within my means?
Right.
No.
Or that you had businesses that were making millions upon millions applying for this PPP loan. It's like, come on, people, wake up. Get a grip. All right, listen, stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to take more calls and dig into more of your questions. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Chris Hogan, and hosting along with me this hour is John Deloney. We are excited to take your calls and talk about the things that are on your mind. Let's do the blinds.com question, John. As we look at this, you and I know blinds.com, 100% satisfaction guaranteed, means even if you mismeasure or pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal. Rules and restrictions apply.
So today's question comes from Paula in California. She asks, I have a universal life policy I've been paying into for 25 years. I no longer need a policy as I no longer have anyone who depends on me. I called to see if I could cash it in, and it's not worth much, but I feel like I should keep the policy since I've paid so much into it. What is your advice?
Okay, well, I mean, in looking at this, Paula, first and foremost, if you're saying you don't need it anymore, that means you're either A, built up enough wealth that you're self-insured, so you don't have a reason for it. You've got money to be able to take care of your expenses, or you don't have anyone that's depending on you or your income. So, I mean, with this universal life policy, this is a whole life policy. So, essentially, what happens with this is you end up paying on it for your whole life, but when you die, the only thing the family would get is the death benefit portion of it. So any of the cash that you've built up would go back to the insurance company.
What?
And so, oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So here's what I would do. I would definitely get with an insurance ELP, find out what the surrender charges are in this and what cash is in it, and go ahead and deal with that. Pull that out. You're going to pay taxes, obviously, on the gain of that, but go ahead and pull that out. Then you can start to use that towards your baby steps. So if you're on baby step 6 and you've already got your house paid for, then what you could do is you could do some giving with that or some extra investing. But if you don't have a need for it, there's no reason to let that sit there. Now, let's say you're out there and you've got whole life or universal life, and you say, Hogan, Dave said it's not good. I got to get rid of it. Slow your roll. First and foremost, what you have to do is get a term policy full and in effect. Okay? Don't cancel anything until you've got another policy full and in effect, because you might be deemed uninsurable. You might have a health situation, and if you can't get anything else, then you have to keep that. You want to hold on to that. But you want to get term life insurance 10 to 12 times your annual income. So if you're making $50,000 a year, or then you're looking to get $500,000 to $600,000 in term coverage, and Xander can help you with that.
So one of the coolest things in my life is I get to just sit on this show next to you and Dave and learn stuff. And last week I learned some stuff sitting with Dave talking about whole life, and I feel like I just learned something else. So this is not theater. This is me almost speechless, which is a rare thing if you ask my family members, because I didn't know this is how this worked. So let's say I go get a whole life insurance policy, and they say, great. So tell me if this is how this works, Chris. I say, I want a $100,000 policy, and they say, great. Effective today, whole life policy, $100,000 if you die. And there's a cash benefit of $25,000. Mm-hmm. But you got to give us $200 a month just for the rest of your life.
Right.
So I say, great. So I live 10 years, 15 years, and I'm just giving them $200, $200, $200, $200. Mm-hmm. When I die, my family didn't get that money. They get
they get the death benefit. So if it was a $100,000 policy with a $50,000 death benefit, and you pay on that all of your life, they're getting the $50,000. Now, that's if you haven't taken out any loans. So if you took loans out against it of $10,000 or $20,000, and you only had a $50,000 death benefit but a $20,000 loan, now when you die, the family's only getting $30,000.
So really, I just paid for somebody else to have an awesome life.
You paid a heck of a fee and a heck of a premium for life for a very small amount of reward.
$50,000
to get back
to let me have
10.
Half of my money.
Yes.
That was nice of me.
Well, and so it's the mindset around it of, that's why we tell people you want to buy term and invest the rest. So term is going to be term life insurance is the cheapest way to get it. And I know I've talked to people and they say, from an estate planning standpoint and investing standpoint, they'll look at whole life and things of that nature. But I'm talking about for the average everyday person of looking at it, of just wanted to have coverage. If something happens to me, money's coming to my family. And that's where term life insurance is going to be your best deal.
So it's one of the, it's like folks who overpay their taxes because they feel like they get a bonus at the end of the year, right?
Yes. It's not a bonus.
No.
It's not a bonus. It's your money. But the government was holding on to it because
making
instead
interest
of
on it,
making interest on it, and then they give it back to you.
How nice of it.
And so we got to get smarter. And so if you're out there, from teachable moment here, if you've out there and you've got life insurance through your job, I want to tell you that's not the way to go. Because if you lose or leave that job, you've also left behind that insurance. So get term life insurance outside of your job. That way you've got the coverage. If you decide to go start a business, you decide to go do X, Y, and Z, do it. Now, John, another thing with life insurance, if you're planning to have another kid or adopting another kid, you really want to look at this and rethink your life insurance. Do you need to increase it? Do you need to, add more to it? And please don't forget, if you've got someone that's working in the home, they need to make sure that they have coverage as well. Because if you're the one working and something happens to you, the family's getting money. But if they're the one at home taking care of kids and something happens to them, you also need money, because you're going to have to hire someone to come take that to work to help the kids, or you're going to have to move closer to family. So this life insurance stuff is serious business. You can learn more. Go to RamseySolutions.com or DaveRamsey.com. Learn more, but really look at where you are this year and get the right amount of coverage. Again, 10 to 12 times your annual income is kind of the benchmark there of how much you want to get in place. And you, again, make sure if you've got someone working inside the home, they're covered as well.
And I've said this before on this show, and I'll say it again. Man, I've been behind closed doors at 2:30 in the morning looking at a spouse whose husband or wife has just passed away in the other room, and they were the breadwinner, and they look you with, it's a very particular look when they look at you and they say the scariest words I can hear, which is, what do I do now? Right? Like, I got to go to work on Monday because we can't pay rent next, I don't know what to do, right? Because we had nothing, right? And nothing got me on the life insurance track faster than sitting with person one, person two, I'm not going to leave my wife in that situation, right? I'm not going to leave my kids in that situation. They need to be able to stop and grieve and go through their go through their life and not have to worry about, hey, mom's got to go to work tomorrow. Right?
So, and if you're out there and you've got someone depending on your income, whether you're taking care of a niece, a nephew, a grandkid, you really got to look at this and think about it. Now, John, I've told people, if you're single and you have no one depending on your income and you've got an emergency fund which could take care of your final expenses, then life insurance is not something you need. But if you've got people depending on your income, it is an absolute must. And, a lot of people are fearful of it because they don't know. And I'm just going to tell you straight up, because it's what I do. They're going to come in for life insurance. They're going to get your height, your weight, and they're going to get fluids. Okay, you're going to get fluids. And then from there, it'll take 6 to 8 weeks in order for them to put the policy full in effect. And so get it done. We have no reason to delay, no reason to hold back. We've got to make sure we get this stuff in place. All right, got to handle it. And so, that's just one of those real things we got to talk about sometimes, just because people can get scared. And if you fear what you don't know, most people, as you know, if it's fear, they freeze.
Well, and same as making a will, getting life insurance doesn't increase the likelihood that you're going to die.
No.
Right.
And people will think that.
No, I know they don't like to think about it. I don't want to talk about it, so I'm not going to do a will. I'm not going to do this.
That's right.
It doesn't increase the likelihood.
No.
It does increase the likelihood that when you die, which, spoiler alert, it happens to everybody, that the people you love are going to be taken care of.
That's right.
That the state isn't going to be figuring out where your kids go and who gets your house, and they're not your family's not going to have to go rush off to get to work.
Hey, quick quiz from some unnecessary knowledge I know. You know what it's called if you die without having a will? It's called dying intestate. Now, you can win Jeopardy with that one, baby. Listen, stay tuned. We come back, The Ramsey Show. We're getting back to the phones because you got questions and we got answers. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Chris Hogan, and hosting along with me this hour is John Deloney. And I can't tell you how excited we are to talk to you. We're about to get to the phones, but I just want to let you know the phone number. The number to call is 888-825-5225. Again, that's 888-825-5225. Phone lines are open. Kelly is standing by and ready to take your call, and we'd love to talk to you. All right, we're going to get to the phone line. We got a caller here. We got James is calling in from Milwaukee. James, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, guys. How are you doing?
Oh, we are focused and not finished, buddy. What's on your mind today?
All right. So similar to a previous caller, I got a bit of a situation here with a rental property of ours. My wife and I are amateur landlords at best, but it's been fairly lucrative for us over the past 8 or 9 years.
Okay.
Looking to get out of it, but we do have a tenant that's been in our best property that we're going to be putting up for sale soon. That hasn't paid rent in about a year. Went through the eviction process and actually, got the notice to serve him, and ended up not going through with it because it was February. He had no place to go, and so we let him stay with the agreement that he would, really start to pay back what he had owed.
Yeah.
He was back at work. Things were turning around, but that money hasn't come to us. So he owes us about $30,000 at this point, and just wondering what the best way to proceed with this is. We want him out, but I also want that money. So is it a civil lawsuit once we get him out of the house? What does that look like?
Yeah, this is tough, man. I am sorry. Because it sounds like you have been beyond understanding. Like you guys have really tried to work with this guy, haven't you?
Correct, yes.
And he's made no effort to pay you whatsoever.
No, he hasn't paid in about a year. And the rent is, it's a really nice house. It's about $2,900 a month that he pays us. So
right.
He paid for the first, year or so, and then he ran into some hard times. And I know he's gotten stimulus money, and I know he's back at work, but none of that money has really come to us. So,
will he meet with you? Have y'all sat down and had just a conversation, like over a table?
The only time he met with me is when I showed up. It was a little surprise visit.
Yeah.
We actually don't live in the area anymore,
Yep.
So it's about a 2-hour drive to get there.
Gotcha.
And I got other stuff going on at this point, and I just want to be done with it. But obviously, we need him out.
But you guys are going to sell this property.
Yeah, and we should clear. We should clear a couple $100,000 when we sell it.
That's good. That's good.
But from the principal standpoint, I don't.
Right.
I want the money that we're.
No,
owed.
I understand. And you are going to have to consult with an attorney.
Yeah.
You really are.
Right.
Because, and here's the crazy thing, James. Not only are you going to have to consult with an attorney, but you're going to have to do some math on, what's it going to cost me to try to pursue this? And then, all right, and keep reminding yourself, as you well know, you still have $30,000 that you haven't received. And so now you're going to spend more money to potentially not get or get some money. Right. And so that's what I mean in that consultation with the attorney is to understand the likelihood and the probability of you getting any money. I love the fact that at least you're going to sell it and you're going to net out, what that property's worth. But you've got to do kind of a cost benefit analysis on, in that consult, and you'll pay $500 to $1,000 to sit with the attorney to walk through it. But, in that meeting, you want to know, how do you have to properly notify him that it's being sold? Also, when he has to vacate, and that vacating process for him to get out, for you to be able to show it and sell it and all of those things. John, this guy's bent over backwards.
Yeah, the chances of you getting that money are very, very slim.
It's slim.
Right?
Yeah.
So unless this person is just piling up cash and has zero character, which I think's a low probability, right? I think more realistically, he fell on real hard times, has nowhere to go, and took advantage of somebody who wasn't going to kick him out, was going to work and work.
Right.
After month 2, month 3, suddenly the rules don't. I mean, I'm going to keep plugging along, right? Yeah. So you look up and it's a year later. I think you're right, Chris and James. I think you're going to have to sit down and do the hard math, the soul math. What is it going to cost you in sweat equity? What's it going to cost you an attorney to go after somebody? Even if you get a judgment against him, they're going to say, great, you owe me $30,000. He's going to smile at you and say, it might as well be $30 million, dude.
Right.
I don't have it.
Right.
And they're going to evict him. And then it's going to be on his credit report. You're going to high five. Then you're going to have a lawyer bill.
Right. That's right.
At some point, you think of it this way. If there was $30,000 in a box 2 hours away, who wouldn't get in a car and drive over there and pick that up, right? So at some point, you got to get in the car, drive down there, have a conversation, go through the eviction process, have that. I mean, it's been a year, right?
Yeah.
That's super generous. Go through that process. I just don't think you're going to see the money. Man, that's a lot of sweat equity, a lot of money.
I really don't.
To not get anything.
I really don't. And, the other side of it is James, going the bigger picture math of what that property's worth. You are selling it. I think this call, my friend, is going to be a lesson for a lot of people. When you are looking to rent, not only do you want to get quality people with references, but security deposits and it's still that chance, there's still that percentage chance of people going crazy or not doing what they're supposed to do. And that's one of those life lessons to look at this. And so have a consult with an attorney, get some guidance. You and your wife sit down and really be prayerful and careful on how you're going to go about it. Because what I don't want to see you do is to spend $100,000 going after 30.
Right.
And you'll at some point in your head you'll feel validated, but ultimately mathematically, and I like what you said, soul math. Mathematically speaking, you're going to look and you go, I lost twice. I lost 3 times with this, and there's a better way to go about it.
And if you're listening to this and you've fallen on hard times, which is 100% of us, right? 99.9% of us fallen on hard times. And we found ourselves in a situation where we need somebody to step in and help us out. Whether that's with wise counsel, whether somebody has reached out and given us, I've had envelopes show up in my mailbox during seasons of my life when people are struggling. Somebody says, hey, I understand, like James did, and they come to you and say, oh, man, your life fell apart. You're in our best house. We're going to let you stay. We're going to ask you to step up when you can. Man, if you don't do anything that next month and you don't communicate, someone is helping you out. Here's the meta lesson here. Don't ever help anybody out. And I'm the guy always running around saying, help out your neighbors, help out your community. And we get a year here, no communication, nothing. And I don't want the message being don't ever help.
No,
people
I agree.
fall on hard times.
They do.
But, man, if somebody helps out, if somebody's helped you out and you're listening to the show right now and you're not doing right by them, and you may not be able to come up with $30,000, call them.
Communicate.
Call them.
Yeah, I would tell people, I used to be a debt collector. Many years ago.
I would have loved to have seen you come to my house.
Ago. Yeah.
I would not have answered.
but it was PD, pre-Dave.
Yeah.
But I on this side of it and being a financial coach, I would tell people, if you can't pay, you can at least pay attention.
Communicate,
and
man.
that paying attention is communicating. Call them. Don't be a hostage in your own home with the bill collectors calling you. Pick up the phone, call them. Communicate about your situation. But John, I would tell them this. If you're somebody communicating to a collector, don't expect their permission. Don't expect them to be understanding. That's not the goal of the communication. The goal of the communication is information exchange. Let them know, listen, I know I owe you X, Y, and Z. This is what I can afford to send in. Yeah. This is what I plan to send in by the 30th.
Right.
And then do that. Right. Stick to that. But call them, like you're saying. Yeah. Call them, communicate on the front end. Over-communicate as much as possible.
When you're in somebody's debt, whether it's a gift like James gave this tenant or it's money like a previous caller, it lays on you like that. We call it that shame blanket. It gets heavier and heavier. And the thing that feeds shame, right? It's an old Brené Brown thing. Secrets and silence. It feeds that stuff, man. So if somebody does you a solid and suddenly the next month shows up, you can't pay.
Yeah.
Man, you got to swallow it, call them.
Yeah, you got to pick up the phone and call them. Let them know what's going on. Talk about your situation.
Keep taking care of our neighbors.
Oh, man, what a fun hour. Listen, want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank all the callers for calling in. We love hanging out with you. Connect with us. Stay with us. This is The Ramsey Show.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I'm Chris Hogan, and hosting along with me this hour is Dr. John Deloney, and I can't tell you how excited we are to be here with you and ready to take your calls. So here's what we need you to do. Pick up the phone and dial this number, 888-825-5225. Again, that's 888-825-5225. If you've got some questions out there, whether it's dealing with relationships, anxiety, job change, money questions, whatever it is, we're going to do our best to guide you. All right, John, are you awake and ready to go?
I am, man.
What have you been working on in your show? I mean, I know you're always doing something these days.
I mean, we are talking about relationships and mental health and school and physical health and work, everything that's going on in people's lives, right? How do you handle it when you find things out about your spouse or your boyfriend, girlfriend you didn't know about?
Yeah.
How do you handle things when your kids show up with special needs or special challenges or medical issues? All of it, all in one big bundle, man. It's just helping folks make the next right step.
My goodness, that's a lot of stuff. But it's stuff that people are going through, and it's called life.
That's right.
And the most important thing to know is you don't need to go through life alone. You need to get the right people on your side, the right information, so you can make the right decisions. So give us a call. We're excited to talk to you. We're going to the phones because that's what we do. We've got Jason, who's in Traverse City, Michigan. Jason, how are you?
I'm doing well. Good to speak with you, Chris, John.
Yeah, how can we help you today, bud?
Well, I am a future everyday millionaire that is trying to get past how to get to that point with a financial decision that I'm looking at.
Okay.
I've been debt-free since 2013. I have no debt. I've got money packed away, and I'm looking at purchasing a property, mini storage units, because I got a late start on my retirement, and I think this would be a fast track to getting a retirement income post work that will supply me with a steady income in my years of retirement, basically.
Okay. So for what you're looking at, what's the dollar amount?
All right, so here's what I've got. The property currently has one mini storage unit on it plus one large pole barn with storage. The property is generating only about $1,000 a month, so it needs to be expanded. So I'm looking at a $400,000 mortgage, essentially, which will include the purchase and erection of two new multi-unit buildings, which in turn will allow me to have a much larger shovel to dig out of this debt. The income that comes from this property is not needed. I run my own business, and I can easily live off my current income, as well as, if necessary, pay for this property on top of that.
Okay, so how much are you making a year right now?
Let's just round it into a medium of $80K.
Okay. And how much money do you have sitting ready to be used as an investment?
Minus my emergency fund,
Right.
which is a pretty healthy emergency fund.
Yeah.
Let's say $100K liquid.
Okay. And so in looking at this in the multi-unit, how many units are you talking total?
Two additional buildings with approximately 32 to 36 units per building.
Okay. 32 to 36. And the average rental price would be how much per unit? Granted, you'll have different sizes, 5x5, 5x8, 8x10, 10x12. But on average, what's the storage fee?
I've done an overall calculation, and I know that each one of these buildings on a conservative occupancy with conservative rental rates should generate between $25,000 and $3,000 a month. And that's not max capacity, obviously.
Okay.
What about these buildings is over and above the $1,000 a month you're generating now?
Say it again. Ask the question again. I'm sorry.
Are these new buildings you're going to build bigger, fancier? What makes them different?
The current mini unit that's on there is only a 16 unit building.
Is
and
it
then
full?
The other, Is it old?
Is it full at capacity?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
that one's full to capacity, and there are the large pole building has just open space for random space storage.
Okay.
RVs, cars, boats.
Hey, Jason, you said you had a super healthy emergency fund. Of course, that jumped out at me. How much over and above a 6-month emergency fund do you have?
Let's call it another 40,000.
Okay. So 100. So essentially, push come to shove, you got $140K that you could use toward this.
If I needed to, but tell me if my logic is correct here, or if I'm going in the wrong direction. Part of the reason I want to keep as much of my liquid cash available is that way I can use that for better negotiations for concrete work or building erection, rental equipment to do excavation, things of that nature.
I got you.
Along with just making sure I.
Yeah, here's the deal. I can hear it in your head. You're a serial entrepreneur. And you are itching to take on debt. And that's where philosophically we're going to differ. Like, when I look at this and say, hey, first things first, at any business, I'm going to tell you to work on a business plan. I want to know what competition is in the area, how many other storage units are there in your area or the area you're thinking about living. Are they at capacity, or is it an oversaturation where there's too much? Also, you also have to be aware, just like with a rental property, yes, you do have these things that you're putting up and it's new. And on the start end, you're going to do it. But what's the rate of people falling off the wagon and not paying? Then you're having to now go in and do auctions and clear outs of this thing. So I don't think it's as passive as you're thinking it is. Is this something that in a year, you got $140,000, let's just say straight up, that you could use in capital? Could you get a little bit more intentional? You're self-employed making 80. I think you're pulling my leg there a little bit. You might be making more than this. But looking at this, is this something I would strive to do with cash? Absolutely, I would. Or a very short-term loan where maybe you're financing 50% of it. And I'm saying if then. To me, I feel like you're going to not only do this, but then you're going to go on and do something else. And the next thing you know, you're going to look up, you're going to have $1 million in debt and wonder how you got there. So I would adopt a cash debt-free kind of mentality with any business that you're going into to start small. And maybe you start small. Maybe you start with what would $140,000 get me? Can I get that to capacity and get that humming and then save up money to be able to add the next one? Instead of building the grand poobah, I'm going to build a little poobah.
That's right. And anytime you are trying to do something to quote-unquote play catch-up,
yeah,
I feel like I screwed up in the past. I haven't invested enough, and so now I'm staring down the barrel of retirement. So I found a shortcut. You start doing napkin math that makes that shortcut work for you so you can forgive yourself for the challenges you did in the past.
Yeah.
Don't make another mistake on top of
Don't
other
compound
mistakes
the
you may have made.
mistake.
There you go.
Yeah, when you try to hit a grand slam, it increases the odds of striking out.
There you go.
So just stay focused on hitting base hits, people. Base hits with cash. It'll get you there. This is The Ramsey Show.
Cliff and I joined Christian Healthcare Ministries because we really liked the concept of Christians sharing each other's burdens. And we really experienced that firsthand when Cliff was diagnosed with heart disease. It was just such a relief to know that financial burden was going to be taken care of.
CHM is the original and longest-serving health cost-sharing ministry. Get started today and check us out at chministries.org/budget.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. All right, everybody. We know it's that time of year. It is. It's tax season. And I know you're out there and you're going, Hogan, really? Really? Listen, I know no one wants to be bothered with taxes, but you finally have an easy way, a money smart way to be able to file online. Now, there's other software out there that'll do it, but I'm going to tell you this, it's not what it's cracked up to be. They say it's free, but no. TurboTax is not free for the vast majority of people that use it. They sign you up, and then they increase the price basically from free to 40, from 40 to 60 to 120 or even more. Now, we're not going to play around like that. The cost to file a federal tax return with Ramsey Smart Tax is crystal clear. It's $17 or $37, depending on the level of support you need. So if you're single filer, you can do it for $17. If it's a little bit more complex and you need some upgrade to get live help, $37 will do that. But it's not just about the cost. The technology that we have and the support that we're going to have for you, it's second to none. And we're never going to leverage your financial situation and sell your name off to other lists, i.e. credit cards or other companies out there, because that's what a lot of these tax filing companies do. They'll sell your information off to other companies. So let's do it right the first time. Sign up for Ramsey Smart Tax. Take a look at it. You're going to get it done. You're not going to pay a thing until your taxes are right and you're ready to click file. So you got an opportunity to kick on the tires and check it out. All you have to do is text the word tax to 33789. Again, text the word tax to 33789. Got to get that out of the way so you can unclog your mind and feel better about your situation.
So here's an insider view. We do commercials here, right? We got to make a living, right? I used this weekend. I had a gap between like a family thing we were doing, and I had to take my sister to the airport. She came to visit us, so I had a small amount of time. Mm-hmm. I sat down, used this program, did my taxes. Now, I'm a simple guy, so we don't have anything complicated going on. I got all the way through it. So like you said, I got to test drive it all the way through. Didn't have to pay until the very end of it. Mm-hmm. It was simple. It was fast. It told me exactly what my refund's going to be. Hit a button that says file it, filed it.
Done.
Dude, it was awesome.
Wow. Well,
no,
you can do it.
Yeah, listen, I pretty much came to work today on a covered wagon. My horse is sitting out there, I'm not a sophisticated guy.
You crack me up,
If I can do taxes on my own by myself at my kitchen table that quick.
That's a big deal.
It's simple for us simple folks.
But listen, I want to encourage you out there. I know some of you are like, I've been meaning to do it. I was going to gather up my stuff, but I just found something else to do. Listen, don't you paint that. Don't paint that room again, okay? Don't paint. Or I know people that would rather move than deal with taxes. Or paint. I know. Don't go out there and rearrange your garage for the third time. Get this done.
You're reading my mail, Hogan.
And now listen, you might have a complicated situation. You might be a self-employed person or you may be a business owner. We've got tax ELPs that can help you with that as well. You go to DaveRamsey.com, click on tax ELP. You can find a tax professional in your area. The main thing is let's not prolong it. 2020 was goofy enough. Let's get these taxes done, get this behind you, and know what you're dealing with. All right, that's the commercial, people. Make it happen. All right, we're going to get on the phone. We got, CJ's on the line. CJ, how can Dr. John and I help you?
Hi, guys.
How are you?
I'm so excited to talk to you.
I'm excited to talk to you. What's going on?
Well, I have a question. So I've been dating someone for about 5 months. And we've been married before, and we're both 60. So I'm not exactly sure when the best time to talk about finances would be. And if you guys have any suggestions on how to broach that subject.
That's a loaded one. That's good.
Yeah, it is.
So what is your financial history?
Well, mine personally, I've been through the program, so I don't have any debt. I own my home, and I have a good retirement. I'm still working, but it's looking good for retirement for me. So I'm in good shape.
Usually I hear somebody ask this question on one end of a barbell. They have just, their finances are a wreck, and they're ashamed to talk about it, or they've really been diligent. They've just chipped away and chipped away and chipped away, and they find themselves where you are. They got a good job. They got a paid-for house. They've got no debt. And they are worried that this is going to be the deal breaker, or you're going to find this is going to be the one thing that me and my this person who I've been dating don't agree on. It's just going to burst it. Here's what I would tell you. This is never about money. It's always a values conversation. And so I would approach this the same way you approach any other value. Sit down and have a conversation, right? 5 months, you've been dating a while. You get to know this guy. You both have been through this. You both have been married before. Y'all been in this rodeo before. There's no surprises at this point. I'd sit down and if 5 months actually, I think it's a long time, right? I would have had it beforehand. I'd do it with a smile on my face. We're talking about money.
CJ, do you think you all differ on this money stuff?
I do. I did ask him if he did Dave Ramsey's program, and he hasn't yet. But our church offers it sometimes, so he plans on going through the program when the church does offer it again.
Right. Had he ever heard of Dave before?
Of course, yes.
Oh, okay.
So what's your apprehension about the conversation?
Well, I don't really know how to bring it up, and
have you kissed this man? Have you kissed him?
Wait a minute here, Deloney.
If you've kissed him, CJ, you can talk about money.
Okay, CJ.
I have. See, I knew it.
Okay, first of all, John has just overstepped the line. he has overstepped, CJ.
Well, hey, Chris, here's why I say that. When I'll never forget doing my counseling practicum. People would tell me the most intimate things about their lives. Real intimate stuff, Chris.
I get it.
And then I would say, tell me about your finance situation. Whoosh,
locked down.
Nothing.
Yeah.
We have such a sense of discomfort and shame around money.
We do.
And if we have been doing well with it, we tend to feel a little bit better than everybody around us, right? It's just this thing. And I think it comes back to our culture. If we ask this one question, hey, Chris, what are you worth? And we as a culture have defined that as a number, right? Not a number of people who love us and our kids and all that.
Right.
So all I have to say is this. You're going to just approach it the same way you would any old conversation. I do it with a smile on my face and say, we've been dating for almost half a year now. And we've talked about politics because I know you have. We've talked about pandemic stuff because I know you have. You've talked
relationships.
About your kids, past relationships. You've talked about all of it. It's time to go into it and get into it.
And CJ, I would even tell you, of the money things, you want to find out, do they budget? What's their feeling about debt, right? Do they have money saved for retirement? I would just make this conversation the one. And what I mean by this is the make or break. Any of the other questions you've been thinking? Because I know, CJ, you got other questions too, don't you?
Well, not really. We've covered some of the other big topics.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah,
well, listen. You're so sweet.
CJ,
you are a Southerner that has
you.
moved to Arizona because I hear the twang in your voice. You're a sweetheart.
I love
Listen
CJ.
here. Make the list of questions. Have the conversation. But in that, and I agree with John. It's like anything else. If you want to know, you got to talk about it. But that being willing to connect and go through Financial Peace University or plug into Ramsey Plus together, I'm gonna put where the rubber meets the road. And this is one of those where you're talking budget, especially if this is long term. If you guys are just hanging out to hang out and there's not a long term plan, then you do your money thing separate. But if you're thinking about getting married or thinking about being a couple, it's something you got to talk about.
And I would listen to the hesitation.
Yeah.
If you're uncomfortable 5 months in talking to somebody who's been through as much life as you two have, and you are nervous about this conversation, you don't know how to bring it up, that tells me there's some other alarms going off about this relationship.
And it could be that maybe, CJ, money was used as a weapon against you in your previous relationship. Either way, again, put the cards on the table, be able to talk to each other, gain understanding, then gain agreement on the right direction, and then start working in that direction. But remember, you're separate until you're married.
That's right.
So you work your plan and stay focused. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Chris Hogan, and hosting along with me this hour is Dr. John Deloney. We're pumped up and ready to take your phone calls. So all you have to do is pick up the line, call us 888-825-5225. Again, that's 888-825-5225. We'd love to be able to hear from you and talk to you about what's on your mind. So if you've got a question, whether you're dealing with relationships, whether you're dealing with stress and anxiety and needing some guidance, Dr. Deloney will help you. And if you got a money question, you want to talk about building wealth, you want to talk about dealing with retirement, I can help you. We're here for you. You can find us on social media at Ramsey Show, or hunt me down at Chris Hogan 360, or hunt John down at John Deloney. We have finally got him some social media. So you can find him on there, and he's learning.
You guys dragged me into the 21st century, and it is not going well here.
No, it's a lot, isn't it?
I'm telling you, man.
It is a lot with
lots
the
of flashy
Twitter
things
and Facebook
bells
and Instagram
and dings and all of it.
All the things. But I tell you, we love connecting with you all and help John and I defeat Christy and Rachel. We are trying to outgrow them, so definitely follow us. Tell your friends to follow us. We must win this battle. It's a necessity, or we'll never hear the end of it. All right, we're going to the phones. We're excited to take your call. We got Kristen is on the line. Kristen, what's your question for John and I?
Hi. So my husband and I are funding our 401ks at 15%.
Good.
But if we stop, so we've reached baby step 4 or 5 because we're funding for our kids' college funds as well. Mm-hmm. But my question is I'm 25. So if we stopped, or not stopped, but dropped our percentage of allocation to the 401ks to 5% and paid off the home in 2.5, 3 years, would you recommend that over paying into our 401ks, or what would your thoughts be on that?
Okay, Kristen, how old did you tell me you are?
25.
Who are you?
Where'd you guys learn about this money stuff?
Actually, Dave Ramsey, I had a class in high school, personal finance, and it was one of the best things that I ever saw.
When I was 25, I didn't know what day it was.
Well, that's another show.
That
John.
Is another show.
That's another show. Kristen, I'm impressed, seriously, because at 25, I wasn't thinking like that as well. So the fact that you're at that point, it's awesome you heard the information. And not only did you listen to it, but you guys have started to apply it. Okay, so you're asking, do you cut down your investing down to the minimum, the match, and take every other extra dime and throw it toward the house? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. No. Okay, and here's why. I would love, you guys have the ability, I want you flexing that muscle of doing the 15%. Matter of fact, I want you doing 15% regardless of the match the company's doing. Okay? So you guys are doing your 15%. I still want you throwing extra money toward attacking the house. All right? Now, why do I say that? Because remember, compound growth is the thing that's the game changer. Compound growth is what's going to help put you all on the next level. So you all can do both. For example, what's the household income for both of you?
It's 130, and so I can make, I'm going to have it like 3 years. I was hoping to speed it up by pausing that a little bit, but
right.
I allocate about $4,000 a month
toward
to
the house
payment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. See, and here's the other thing you're not factoring: your income growth over the next 3 years. Okay?
Yeah,
so you all, again, I would just continue to do the 15%. The compound growth is going to set you guys apart because you all are laying the foundation right now financially to become everyday millionaires, literally by your late 30s. So I would not cut that out. I would continue to do your 15%, but then throw all extra money toward attacking the house. But here's going to be the secret weapon also, Kristen. You're the saver in the relationship, aren't you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I am.
Is your husband, bless his heart, is he still eating ramen noodles, or what do you let him eat?
Actually, no, I let go on the grocery budget.
I'm just playing.
He eats what I say he eats.
But you can hear the focus. And so I want you guys to make sure you're still having some fun. You know, you're one of those people I got to give this lesson to because you see and you attack, right? You're so goal-oriented. But inside of that, just know you guys can still go out to eat and pay cash. You guys can still do some stuff. And that's important. And Kristen, the reason I'm bringing that up is I'm trying to get you guys ready because once you build wealth, I need you to be able to enjoy it. So it's just that mindset of giving yourself a chance, relax, breathe a little bit. Yes, you can still attack the debt. You want to get that out of your life, but you're not going to forego saving for retirement.
So, Chris, help me with this. I bought a house. I haven't owed anybody money in a long time. And I recently took out a mortgage to buy a house. I did it all the right ways, if you will.
Right.
Man, it's killing me.
Mm-hmm.
I hate owing somebody money.
Yes.
I hate it.
Yeah.
And we've sat there with a spreadsheet, Chris, and I can do it this fast.
Right.
If I just hang on, and then I can cash flow college, and then I can catch up on my talk me out of it, man.
So you have thought about yourself foregoing maybe retirement for the sake of
I
attacking.
can just suck it up and then do a couple of speaking gigs here.
Right.
And I can quit feeding my kids on Saturdays. We can do it.
Okay, don't stop feeding your kids. They're nice.
Right.
Bring them to me. I'll feed them.
I know you will.
But here's the thing. With people that I tell people all the time, when your income can fluctuate or you can earn extra money, there's nothing wrong throwing that extra toward the house.
Okay.
But I wouldn't forego saving for retirement or forego saving for college. The reason why is the compound growth is the thing that gets exponential.
Yep.
Okay. So don't get in the habit of that 4, 5, and 6, that investing 15%, saving for college, and throwing extra at the house. I don't have a problem with any extra dime that comes in, it going there, but not at the sake of having the retirement taken care of. Because here's the deal. These kids that people tell me they love so much, if you don't save for retirement, you're going to burden them.
That's their problem. I'm just kidding.
They're going to have to take care of you.
I know.
Yeah. But no, I love the intensity. It's just one of those,
money, Chris.
Yeah, I know. But look at it. If again, the home, how are you getting it out of your life as fast as possible? And for people that can earn chunks of money or bring in some extra income, I tell them all the time, fire every dime at that. But please don't forget to budget for some fun. Like, don't forget, you got to have some blow money in your pocket. Like,
of course.
You're getting out of debt, beans, rice, beans, right? The only restaurant you see is as you drive by it.
That's
or
right.
You see it on TV, right? But when you get out of that mold, that 4, 5, and 6, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But I get it.
Yeah.
And that detesting it, that's what will cause you to pay it off even faster than you think you will.
That's right.
Like, that thing's gone. Because if you have something, you'll start thinking, you'll go, boy, what if I do this or this or this to bring in some extra money? You already know where you're going to send that money to.
Yeah.
You're not going to be upgrading vehicle or anything like that. You've
seen my car.
You have the mindset. You have the mindset of this debt's got to go.
That's right. And the challenge for me is I want it gone so bad that, man, I could sit down at a spreadsheet and make the math work in my favor. Or more importantly, it's the psychology of it.
It is.
Right.
It is. But like you said, having been debt-free, now as you make the decision to buy a home, because you were doing the on-campus living stuff,
right.
so stuff was taken care of. For you, it's that looking at it, and I like that. I like that you don't like it. But looking at it and you're going, okay, I've got a systematic plan. I am going to feed the kids all 7 days of the week, right? You are going to do that, but you have a plan.
That's right.
It's good, though. I like that you're intentional with it, man. It tells you that you go, it don't feel right.
Nope.
And I tell people, a mortgage debt, that's the only debt that we're okay with you getting.
And I'm not even okay with
it. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because here's the thing. You won't be house hopping. In 3 years, you won't be thinking of going to buy X, Y, and Z. You're thinking, I want to own this outright.
That's right.
Then that's the way to go.
If I look back over the history of time, any house me and my family are fortunate enough to live in with an air conditioner and a roof, we're on house money, man. I mean, we are playing on house money.
Hey, dude, it's called having perspective and awareness.
That's right.
It's a beautiful thing. All right, stay tuned. When we come back, we're taking more of your calls. There's no telling what we might do, so stay tuned so you can check it out. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. We are excited to be back with you. I'm Chris Hogan, and co-hosting along with me this hour is Dr. John Deloney. We are excited to take your phone calls, so we're going to jump right to it. We have got Christopher's on the line in Huntsville, Alabama. Christopher, how can we help you?
Hey, guys. This is a question about a 529. My wife and I have a 5-month-old.
Congratulations.
Well, thanks. A COVID kid. It's been fun.
That's going to be the name, right? Y'all are like, oh, you're a COVID baby, right? Is this your first?
Definitely. Yes, it is.
How are you guys doing?
Good. She's finally sleeping through the night, so we're celebrating.
Yeah, that feels like a minor miracle right there. When you get that full night's sleep, you can go, oh, to be human again.
It's the only celebration that results in going to bed earlier. Good for you guys.
Great job, buddy. So, what you guys are saving for college, so what baby step are you on?
So we just bought our house back in December.
Okay.
And so we've done the flip to the 15% investing in our 401ks.
Okay, good.
And everything. So now we're on the 529, and we started a 529, and we were thinking about front loading it. Let's say that instead of investing consistently, the last caller, you talked about some of the compound interest and everything with it. That basically, let's say by age 1 for our child that we put 20,000 in there. Is that enough growth if we stop at 20,000 for her to be ready when she graduates from high school, ready for college, or would you recommend to put let's say after the 20,000, 500 a month? Biggest thing is the compound interest is what we're thinking.
Okay. So do you all have the 20 grand liquid right now to do that?
No, but we bring in some good income.
Okay.
Let me say that.
Well, the child is 5 months old. How much do you owe on the house?
We owe about $210,000.
Okay. What's your household income?
About $260,000.
$260,000. What do you guys do?
I'm an engineer, and my wife is a nurse practitioner.
Okay. So here's the thing. Your kid is 5 months old. You guys have a strong income, or as we call it, a big shovel. I'm going to be more apt to you guys doing $3 grand a year toward the 529 and throw every extra dime toward the house until it's paid off. Then you could easily jack that up to $5 grand a year in the 529.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, I want you to get the number one, that threat out of your life right now, and that's the debt on the home. You guys got a massive income. Christopher, can I tell you this? How many more kids do you want?
We're in our young 30s, and we think this is the last one.
Okay.
The first and only.
See, I tried to ask you a trick question there. And I'll be dogged if you didn't answer it the right way.
He's smarter than you,
I asked you, how many do you want? And I wanted you to throw out a number, and I was going to say, how many does your wife want? But you said, we think we're done. The reason I said that was, as you're thinking about it, as you guys are setting this up with the 529, there will be enough growth there. If you guys are doing that, $3 grand a year, throwing at that thing, you're going to be more than fine. But getting the house paid off and then shifting it to now where you're not having that mortgage payment, but instead of what you were paying on the mortgage, you now start to invest. You guys are going to be great. How old are you all, Christopher?
We're my wife's 34, and I'm about to turn 34.
Okay. So. Yeah, you guys you're doing great. I mean, you're on the ball, buddy. I like the mindset that you all have and the intentionality. You're going to have a great opportunity to be able to be 100% debt free and make sure you've got your education paid for your kid. That's huge.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I leave it to an engineer to crank out a spreadsheet the moment that kid's born and say, all right, how much against this? That's awesome. I love that heart.
It is. And they crack me up, man, because they're thinking.
That's right.
And again, you can't get somewhere without a game plan and some forethought. So it really takes that.
But it ends up being, it goes back to that same question I was asking you earlier, which is for him, for me, it's that thing weighing on my soul that makes me want to throw the plan away and just go after this thing is my mortgage. For him, it's I got to make sure this kid's college is taken care of.
That's right.
Like, let's start planning right now. If I take this chunk and I dump it,
Yeah,
right.
And it is. It's a matter of breathing and understanding, but then it's the process. And you know what I found? People want to understand the why, the what, and the how.
Yeah.
Right? And so going back to that, and I love when people know their why, because that's the thing that'll motivate you.
Yep.
The what and the how, you can get to that, but that why is that root thing that keeps you engaged to it, of people that are, trying to get into shape, trying to get stronger, or whatever it is you're trying, learning a second language, whatever it is, that why is what's going to fuel you.
Some people have a why of growing more hair. Have you ever tried that?
Okay. First of all, I can grow hair.
Listen, let's go over to the YouTube guys. Check this out.
Hey, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it.
There is a photo of my good friend Chris. Listen, this is taken 2 weeks ago.
No.
2 weeks ago, I saw Chris in the mirror. He was clenching his fist really hard. If you're listening to this on the radio, Chris, man, he had a lustrous head of hair.
Okay.
He shaves it off on purpose.
Those of you that are listening to the show, Deloney has dug into the archives and found a photo for me of just a few months ago. We haven't hair. This is actually from way back in the day.
You look good,
so
man.
This proves I can grow hair.
You're a handsome guy, but it's about finding your why.
It is, and I just prefer being bald. It's just I like to let my scalp breathe, and so that's what I'm doing. That's honestly what I'm doing. While Deloney has harassed me, I'm going to take a moment and tell you about the Chris Hogan Show.
Yeah, hey, no, seriously. When I look at my show numbers, they high five me and they're like, "Hey, man, you're doing really great." And then I think, "Yeah, that's what's up." And then I look at yours and I'm like, "Nope, not doing good."
No.
Christopher, what are you doing on the Chris Hogan Show?
Listen, we have a lot of fun. We take callers, obviously, but we do a segment called "Did You Know?" And this is where we give an opportunity to give people some information that maybe they didn't know. For example, of the episode that is airing, actually aired this week, we gave people 5 things that millionaires invest in. And so we call it Did You Know? And there's a graphic that'll pop up and you can see it. And I went through the 5 things according to our research study, because we talked to over 10,000 millionaires of what they're investing in. And just real quick, I'm going to do it like David Letterman style.
Let me guess. It's Bitcoin and GameStop.
Not at all, John. If I had the gong show, I'd gong you. No, John. They invest, number 5, personal growth. Study of millionaires showed that people are active and intentional. They impact their future. Number 4, relationships. Being mentored, asking for help, getting guidance when you need it. And that's you preach that all the time.
Millionaires have humility.
Yes.
Stop it, Chris.
Number 3, home ownership. Millionaires are likely to own a home than the general population. And on average, millionaires pay off their homes in about 10.2 years. See, John, you're going to have yours paid off in like 4.4. Have no doubt. Number 2, IRAs. Investing in things where it allow you taxable investments where you can start to put money away to start to let it grow. And the number one tool millionaires use, employer-sponsored retirement plans, 401ks, 403bs, IRAs, Roth IRAs. The opportunity to put money away was the number one tool that helped them grow wealth. So all is to say.
Hold on. So real estate wasn't on there? That surprises me.
Real estate, it wasn't in the top 5.
Other than your personal home.
Other than your, real estate, personal home ownership. So mindset. So you've got an opportunity. Real estate was in the top 10.
Okay.
Just the top 5. So these are the kinds of things we talk about on my show. We take callers, we take questions. Love the opportunity to connect with you. We're on YouTube as well. As you can see, I'm a little animated. I make some faces every once in a while. And I got a flag that I throw. If there's an article out there that gets me riled up enough, I throw a flag on them. So check it out.
You throw a flag at me. Just
go to
have
ChrisHogan360.com. You can find out more about the show or find it any place that you can listen to podcasts.
What would you, if you had to distill it down right now, what is the most... What's causing people the most apprehension about their retirement, about what's next?
Oh, I think it's just the unknown of what's going on with this pandemic. Yeah, everybody's got opinions, and the stock market, as we're seeing, is riding like a roller coaster, but the unknowns. And so that's why I tell people, go back, control the controllables. All right, listen, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in this hour. We want you to stay connected with us. We love your calls, and we love your support. This is The Ramsey Show.
is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I'm Chris Hogan, and hosting along with me is fellow Ramsey personality, Dr. John Deloney, and I have to tell you, we are excited to talk with you, to take your calls, and to find out what's on your mind. So don't hesitate any longer. Pick up the phone, give us a call at 888-825-5225. Again, that's 888-825-5225, or hunt us down on social media. I'm at Chris Hogan 360. John is at John Deloney, and you can find us. Both of us, we have shows that you can go to YouTube and subscribe to. John's talking about relationships, emotions, anxiety, and feelings. I'm talking about money, building wealth, retirement, and high-definition dreams. So both of us are here to help you, and we'd love to connect with you today to talk about what's on your mind. So, John, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, you're taking notes over there. You must have had some thoughts. What is that?
I have two or three.
You've had a couple. Okay, very good. I'm just checking. I didn't know. Tell me this: best call you've had on your show recently?
Oh man, the best call I've had. They vacillate between folks who are calling in to celebrate something's good in their life.
Right.
The most difficult call I've had recently, we took one yesterday. They'll come out in a few weeks. Was a young mom of a 4-year-old who's heading in for a surgery that just has some bad news written all over it.
Goodness gracious.
And how do you tell the 4-year-old? How do you prep yourself? How do you prep your marriage? And
yes.
Just, it's as real can be.
That's exactly right.
And
you know,
what do we do? What do we do next?
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Listen, tune into the show. Any place that you can find podcasts, you can find the Dr. John Deloney Show. Dr. John Deloney, Delony. Get over to YouTube. I have had an opportunity to listen to several of the episodes and the callers, the hearts behind it, the emotions that are there. It's real. And at the same time, you have an opportunity to hear people get real hope and an opportunity to get off the call and begin to understand. You can almost hear where they're stuck, hear where they're hurt, and hear where they're alone.
That's right.
And this alone stuff is no joke.
I tell you what, I was joking with Dave the other day. I asked a few folks when the show first kicked off, they would ask such hard, intimate, deep questions. My first response is, why in the world are you calling me? Right? Like, I'm just some dude on the radio. What are you?
Right.
And one, we trust you. And two, I got nobody else. And that was a hole in my heart, right?
Man.
So I thought I was in this gig, because people are going to, my wisdom and what, man, there's a lot of smart people. It's about, I got nobody else. I trust you.
Being available.
I'm going to call you.
That's right.
You're a safe person that's not going to holler at me and scream at me.
That's right.
And beat me up, and we're going to get through this together.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
That's the same with the retirement questions people call you with, right?
I know. But you've walked through some stuff, and you've seen some stuff. And, the main thing I know you do is you are considering the individual. You're being real with them, being upfront and honest, but it's still a person.
Yeah.
And you're not somebody, you're not looking just to do Hollywood and to do something, that outlandish and crazy. You actually hear the heart behind the person, which I think is phenomenal, and I think it's admirable, brother. So keep up the good work. Keep guiding people, and again, check out his show. You can get on there on YouTube, have a chance to take a look. The show is doing fantastic. He's yet to have me on there, so I take it as a personal affront. But it's fine.
We're going to do
it's fine.
We're going to do a bald only episode coming up. It's coming.
You got to do some kind of ism.
It's coming.
And that's fine. That's fine. It's not a problem.
Be about.
All right, listen to me. I've had enough of John already, but I want to talk to you. John does too. 888-825-5225. Seriously, people, we are here for you. Let's get on the call. And we got Robert on the line. Robert, how are you?
Doing all right. How you doing there, Chris?
I'm
Dr. John?
Hey, we are doing fantastic, my friend. How can we help you today?
I got an opportunity coming up. I'm going to be doing an interview tomorrow with a new company. I'm a truck driver by trade.
Okay.
And the main question I have is, if I do get offered the job tomorrow, should I pause baby step 2 at least for a couple of weeks so I can have a little bit of a buffer, because I won't be getting paid for 2 weeks once I get entrenched in the job. You know?
So you're in baby step 2. You think it'll take a couple of weeks for you to get your income ramped up? Wouldn't you be due some back pay from the other job?
I'll be due 1 week's pay, so that'll cover, part of my bills, but it'll be right at the beginning of the month.
I gotcha.
So once all my money comes out, because I save up during the month and pay off everything at the first of the month. So once that money is gone, it's gone, and I'll have maybe, with my income, I'll have about $500.
Okay. Tell me this. What kind of debts do you have, Robert?
I have a student loan of $25. I have 5 on one vehicle and 9 on another vehicle.
Oh, you got
the $5,000 vehicle was repossessed about a year ago, and I'm working with them to try to pay it off. But it's been a little harder than I would expect.
Yeah. And so, how confident are you in this job, this new one?
I'm pretty confident. I got a friend who actually works there.
Okay.
So I already have an in, like with Ken Coleman. It's like, get an in. So I got that part.
Good.
But,
that's good.
I'm just trying to, if I do get offered the job position, it'll be a substantial pay increase.
And
so
that
it'll
was
help us a lot better to get out of debt.
Well, that was my next question. So realistically, what you have is obviously your fixed expenses, your rent and things of that nature, the student loan, and then the $9,000 car. You're not even doing anything on the $5,000 repoed car yet, right?
No, sir.
Yeah. So, I don't think, do you really have to pause anything? But if you did, there's nothing wrong with that while you're adjusted and getting into your next job. That's just normal and in that phase of life. Now, what you want to do is to make sure you're keeping everything tight and clear, right, and taking care of the things that are absolutely necessary. But no, I love the fact you're going to be making more money. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and it's just keep yourself on track, man. It's easy when you pause it to go ahead and I got to have a couch.
Well, what I was sitting here thinking.
I got to get a new TV.
You know what I know about me? I am a celebratory spender.
I will celebrate.
Okay? Listen to me. Like, I talk about this on the show. You need to know. You be thinking about what kind of spender you are. But I wanted people to know, what kind of spender are you? Are you a bored spender?
Yep.
Are you a lonely spender?
Yep.
Are you a celebratory spender?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Are you a sad spender?
Yep.
You got to. Okay.
I got some problems.
You have yepped to all of them.
I just like spending.
You? Do you really?
I like spending.
All right, listen.
But I'm always down for a celebration, especially when I'm celebrating me.
Yes, and you know what I realized? It's not how much I spend, it's just that I spend. So I control it in the budget.
Gotcha.
Instead of $200, maybe I'll celebrate with $20. See? But you need to know what kind of spender you are. So you can check out that episode of The Chris Hogan Show. It was hilarious, and it was eye-opening. For you bored spenders, you stay off that Amazon. Don't you even go over there and look. Find something else to browse, like the John Deloney Show or the Chris Hogan Show. We'll be right back. This is The Ramsey Show.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. We are excited to be with you. I'm Chris Hogan, and hosting along with me is Dr. John Deloney. We are excited to take your call, but I want to tell you this, because here at Ramsey Solutions, we're focused on transforming lives, and we know that we can help bring hope like wildfire across the country. And so imagine a world where it's weird to have a student loan, instead of everyone assuming that that's the only way to get an education. Or imagine a world where the majority of people pay cash for their cars, or credit cards are like the cigarette of the financial industry. Imagine being a part of causing that level of disruption with the work that you do every day. Here at Ramsey Solutions, we have about 1,000 people at our company that are working together to create digital products and services to help people transform their lives with the goal of disrupting the toxic money culture that exists in America today. So if you want to join us on that crusade, we're currently on the hunt for many software engineers with expertise in Ruby on Rails, Java, C#, and other front-end technologies. Or if you're a UX designer, SEO, or content marketing specialist, we'd love to be able to talk to you. So you can find out about all the available jobs by texting Work That Matters. All together, Work That Matters, to 33789. Again, text the words Work That Matters to 33789, and you can find out about all of our existing openings. It's got a great opportunity. You can get plugged in and know exactly what it is you're dealing with and the type of people you're dealing with, because it's this place is unique.
That's the understatement of the century.
It really is. So we'd love to have you join the team and help us grow. All right, we're getting back to the phones because that's what we do here. The number to call, if you got a question, I want you to pick it up. Kelly is awake and standing by at 888-825-5225. Again, that's 888-825-5225. We'd love to be able to hear from you. I don't know why I said awake. Of course she's awake. I'm going to have to deal with that at the break. But anyway, let's get on the call. I got Rachel on the phone. Rachel, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Chris?
I'm focused and not finished. What kind of question do you have for Dr. John and I?
So I recently started the baby steps about a month ago. I'm on baby step 2. I actually am brand newly engaged as of this weekend.
Congratulations.
So thank you so much. So I, of course, I'm trying to plan ahead now, and I'm just wondering if you guys have any advice or tips on what the best way to, plan for a wedding or whatever I can do to contribute towards that while also doing the baby steps.
Okay. I thought you were going to call in and ask us if you should sell the ring and apply that to your debt.
And the answer is yes. Sell it now.
Sell that ring, girl.
Pay your student loans off. Just kidding. Don't do that.
All right, Rachel.
Don't do that.
Seriously, though, tell us, what kind of debt do you have right now?
So it's a little bit of everything. So I have a car payment that's $7,700. I have student loans that are about $21,000, and I have a combination of credit cards and personal loans that are $38,000.
How much of that is credit card?
Let me see here.
Just ballpark.
It is like 20.
Okay, and what was the personal loan for?
One is from my parents, and
Gotcha.
One was a debt consolidation personal loan.
Okay, so you kind of got the buffet of debt. You were normal.
Yes.
What kind of debt are you marrying into?
I'm sorry?
What kind of debt are you marrying into?
Good question.
Just student loans. He has student loans, but nothing else.
How much?
About $100,000.
Okay.
You just glossed over that one. No, just student loans. It's cool. It's a lot.
$7.9 million.
Yeah.
It's a home in Texas. It's
okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, all right, how do you pay for a wedding while you're in baby step 2? It is going to be absolutely crucial that you guys get on the same page to this and gain agreement. Rachel, I want to tell you something. I have seen people spend $20,000, $30,000, and $40,000 on weddings. And it's absurd. It really is. And I think when you try to end up doing the party of the century for the family, instead of it being about you and your fiance beginning your life together, that's where it can begin to take on a life of its own. And so I think, like in your head, can I tell you something, a tip your fiance needs to know? Like, does he have any idea how long you plan to be engaged before you want to get married?
I think we were kind of talking about it, just ballpark, like maybe 2 years.
Okay, because dudes don't know this. We have we don't know. There's not a guidebook out there. So tell him and talk with him about that. But I'm serious. I think it's really important for you guys to do this as cheaply as possible, being very intelligent. And here's the other one, having boundaries and guardrails for family members. And what I mean by that is you need to find out, are your parents planning to contribute? Did they have a wedding fund? Those kinds of things are important to know so you can know how to begin to navigate this, because it can get really sticky.
Two-year engagement. Tell me about that.
Well, we've been together for 6 years already. We live together. We've lived together for a year. So really, our marriage is just kind of like a solidification of what we already are doing, kind of.
So it's
combining our finances.
It's a way bigger deal than that. And if you look at the data, folks who get married afterwards, after they live together, just because they're cementing things, there's not a great, this is just the data, right? And I haven't looked at it in a few years. I need to circle back to it. But the stats would tell me, I want you to take the idea of getting married. It feels like we're just, we're just going to go through the motions and do a thing that we're already doing. It's a bigger deal than that, okay? Yeah. It changes everybody from the inside out, and it's a big deal. That said, why wait 2 years? You're already living together. Right. You're already right there. Why don't you go down to the JP this weekend and get married for $78 there in New Jersey?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to. It's more of our families that are the boundary in that. I've suggested several times, even before we got engaged, that we just go solidify it at the courthouse or whatever.
Yeah. Is he home? Is your fiance there right now?
No.
I was going to tell them both to raise your right hands. I was going to do it right here. Listen here. No, your parents, your family has nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
This is your life. What do you mean? Are they the issue? Is it your parents or his?
It's mainly his parents. My parents want a destination wedding.
Listen here. Here's the deal. All right, now I done got riled up. The one hair on my head is wiggling, Rachel. Listen, your parents want a destination wedding. Ask them what's their budget and when do y'all need to show up.
That's right.
Okay?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Tell them feel free to pay to plan it, and you'll be there.
Let y'all know the date, and you'll gladly go do your revows again. But no, I'm serious. I agree with John. Let's go on and get this thing rolling. Listen, get down there, do the justice of the peace. Then you guys can say, you know what, fam? It has been a tough year. 2020 has been crazy. This is how much we're planning to contribute. Mom and Dad, you guys have talked about a destination. Do you have a wedding fund, or were you just talking? And it's a nice way to do it. But okay, how old are you, Rachel?
I'm 24.
You're full grown. You are full grown. No, seriously, you are full grown. And I want you and your fiance seriously to sit down and be real with each other and say, hey, what do we want to do? Now, I know you're trying to be considerate, and trust me, for your parents, your wedding day is a big day. But this is a day of, you can call it a confirmation day or wedding day. You can call it whatever you want. That's semantics. I like the idea of you guys going on and getting it done and working together.
That's right. So I want to encourage you 3 things. Number 1, to go back to your original question, make a pact with your fiance. You will not borrow money for this event.
Yes.
Period. Number 2, it is okay to pause baby step 2 and pile up cash to make sure you pay for this wedding, but do it responsibly, not to save up money to get a $40,000 or $50,000 extravaganza. You guys owe a couple of $100,000. Okay. Yeah. And then the 3rd thing is get with a premarital counselor. Get some skills. You think this is just going to be a further extension of what it's been. It's going to be different. Honor it that way. Go into it eyes wide open. Learn some new skills. You're going to have a great marriage ahead of you guys. Do it the right way and do it quick.
This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Chris Hogan, and hosting along with me this hour is Dr. John Deloney. But listen, I'm going to tell you straight up, 2020 was a crazy year. People dealt with a lot of changes, a lot of issues. But here's the deal. If you're tired of feeling stuck with your money, if you don't feel like you can ever get out of debt or feel like you can ever save enough for the future, now's the time. This is the time. You have an opportunity to make a change in your future right now. You can make progress with money, and you can do it faster than you think. But it only happens one way, and that's with a plan. And so Ramsey Plus is the plan. It's going to give you access to the premium version of our Every Dollar budgeting app. You're going to be able to plan every dollar you spend before the month begins. You're going to be able to connect your budget to your bank account so you're on every transaction and know what's going on. And you have the ability to get custom budget reports so you can figure out where your money is going and target your money towards your goal. So when you budget and you get intentional with your money, you will make progress, and you can do it fast. All you have to do to get started today, to start your free trial of Ramsey Plus, is go to DaveRamsey.com. Again, that's DaveRamsey.com, and you can start with Ramsey Plus today. It's a great opportunity to get serious about a plan. And I'm telling you, once you do it, you're going to be able to run down the road of progress and really see, hey, I'm living differently and I feel differently, and that can be a game changer. All right, we're getting back to the phone. We've got John on the line. John, what's your question for Dr. John Deloney?
Hi. I'm in a pretty difficult marriage. It's always been a really, really difficult marriage. And at this point, we're living separately, and divorce has been sort of discussed plenty. She's trying desperately to avoid it. I'm trying desperately to avoid it, and it's one of the aspects of the many complicated things that we're in the middle of is finances, where there's a significant amount of just not being honest about finances happening on her side, and I sort of patiently kind of walk through these steps and try to figure out what to do to move forward. And I guess my question is ultimately, to what extent and how much of the decision process that I'm facing is appropriate to be focused on finances. I really, really don't feel comfortable divorcing my wife because of finances when we can certainly make it. But then there's a bunch of other problems that are even bigger. I don't know if that makes sense of the question.
Yeah. So I guess first of all, I wanted to tell you, man, I hear you're hurting, and I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for your wife too. If you're both, to use your words, desperately trying to stay connected, and you feel that thing just pulling apart further and further, and you're trying to hang on. That's that. It feels powerless, and it feels scary, and man, I hate that for you. So I don't think I've ever experienced an interaction with a couple that was having, here we call it, financial infidelity, right? Where somebody's lying about money. They're being deceitful around money. I've never experienced that with a couple that it didn't have ripple effects into other things, as you mentioned. So tell me, there's something bigger going on here. What's the bigger thing in the water here? Or let me ask it this way. Sure you wouldn't be divorcing your wife because of the money thing. There's something else. There's other things here going on.
I agree. And it's, and I think that, truthfully, there's been a lot of our experience in the early years of marriage where we were swinging in the same direction and really working hard. We both have, some healthy habits with finances. But it is a situation where the more finances, the better our finances became, the more disunified we were. But yeah, your bigger question, I don't know how to answer that without jumping into a complaining session about my wife on the radio, which I don't want to do.
Sure.
But it's been, it's there's times when the marriage just feels wonderful and it's everything that it should be. And then on a dime, it flips upside down and it is just crazy, high conflict.
But you're talking about,
she doesn't see it.
But you're talking about your marriage in a you have distanced yourself from it just in your language. You're talking very evasively about your language, about your marriage. You're talking very evasively about one another. And so cut right to the middle of it. Are y'all two lying to each other? Are y'all seeing other people? Are you spoiled?
There's no sexual infidelity, but there's some serious emotional problems.
Okay. All right.
We're 16 years into marriage, and 10, 11 years ago, I started going to counseling, and I've had my own problems, and it's been a journey there. But there's the other side of it, and it's almost like the healthier I get in some really definitive, clear, clinically measurable ways, the more the kind of crazier and the more just dysfunctional and messed up the marriage becomes. And at this point, it's just unhinged to the point where it's just not safe to live together.
So, how long have you been separated?
I moved out about a year ago, but even that was super, super gradual, where I'd still come home to the main house and then just go sleep at the other house.
So how long have you been separated, though?
And so since last summer, I've been, more at the other house completely, but we're still sitting here wrestling with kids and trying to work that out. And to tell you the truth, even before a year ago, we were sleeping in different rooms for a lot of years.
How old are your kids, John?
My oldest is 15, and my youngest is 4.
Okay. How many in between?
There's 4 total.
Yeah. John, is your marriage over?
I hope not. I'm swinging for a miracle.
Okay. Is your wife swinging for a miracle?
I think she is. Okay. I think she is from where she's standing. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know for sure.
When's the last time you two went to see somebody for an intensive? And so for those of you who don't know, an intensive is when you go sit with somebody, a marriage counselor. Sometimes you'll go see a marriage group for 4 hours at a time, sometimes back to back, and say, we are going all in. And there's even specialized therapists that will tell you at the end of a 4-hour session or an 8-hour session or end of a weekend, this doesn't have the legs to it. Y'all need to begin to solidify the separation. Or they'll say, we moved some of the wood, some of the ashes out, man, and there are still some embers burning in here. Have y'all done that?
We did. She's always refused counseling. And then with divorce on the table last fall, we started going to see a therapist. And, I'll tell you, that did not go well.
Okay.
That was, make your head spin, where the end of the first, several sessions with the first therapist, their wife and her are yelling at each other.
So
let's start seeing another therapist. And then we spend the rest of the time complaining about me while I sit there trying to swallow, and I can't do that either.
So here's the thing, John. You can't. I'm using your words back to you. You can't tell me that both of you desperately want to do this, but one of you won't go. You can't tell me that both of you desperately want to do this, but one person keeps being dishonest about our joint checking accounts, our joint money, right? I don't want to be the guy that tells you, I think this thing's run its course. I think this thing is over and y'all need to be serious about where you're moving forward. I would give it one more shot, and I would go to an intensive, and it's going to be tough and it's going to be hard, and you're going to have to be honest with one another. You're going to have to be honest with a therapist, and then if it is over, for the sake of you two and for these children, you've got to act like adults and separate like adults. Give it one more shot, brother. This is The Ramsey Show.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. Today's scripture, Hebrews 4:12. For the word of God is living and active, sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing to the division of soul and of spirit, of joints and of marrow, and discerning the thoughts and intentions of the heart. Today's quote, a ship in the harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. John Augustus Shedd. Pretty cool. All right, listen, we are excited to take your calls here, Dr. Deloney and I. If you're out there and you want to talk about something, I want you to give us a call. That phone number is 888-825-5225. Again, that's 888-825-5225. We'd love to be able to hear from you. All right, next up, we've got David on the line. David, what's your question for John and I?
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Doing all right, my friend. How are you today?
Good. My question is something I've been struggling with lately. I didn't think I would be. I've been feeling kind of jealous and almost resentful seeing some of my friends get some of these big stimulus packages. You know, they're going out, they're buying cars. Some of them are working the system, still getting all this money. And they're my friends, but I don't know why I'm feeling like this, and it's really bothering me. I mean,
go ahead.
Is this normal, or do you think there's more than just me? There's a bunch of other people thinking this, or am I just a crazy one?
No, I had a conversation this past weekend. I had never heard this term before, Hogan. Is a group of young folks, 25, 26, couldn't wait to get their STEMIs. Their second or third STEMI.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah, that's what they're calling them now, right?
Huh.
It's like a life bonus coming from the clouds. Yeah. Hey, so here's the thing, David. No, you're not crazy, right? You're not. Your brain's working just fine. What I'll tell you is jealousy just poisons you, right? It ruins your day, makes you sick, makes you not well. It doesn't affect any of the car your buddies are purchasing, right?
I know.
It does solidify your values. You may be feeling a little bit like, whoa, I thought I knew you guys, and I don't think I do. Does this mean I'm going to have to start thinking about new friend groups, new community groups? When you see friends or people that you've been ride or die with for a while, man, not that they have different beliefs. We all got different beliefs, but you start to see their values are different than yours. Man, that's hard. You mourn that because you know you're going to have to make some friend transitions over time, right? But it's not abnormal to feel jealous. I tell you, it's a complete and utter waste of your time, your energy, and your soul. Mm-hmm. It destroys you from inside out.
And I get that, and I don't know why. It's just bothering me why I'm feeling like that.
Well, I think it's good that you've been able to put your finger on what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Right? That's fantastic, brother. Now it's a matter of what do you do next? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, David, but what do you mean they're buying a car with the stimulus check? Like, are they getting a different level of check than I'm hearing about in the news?
Well, I guess, they all have kids. Me and my wife don't. We weren't able to for certain reasons. That's a whole nother show with Dr. D, but anyway, that's, I feel in my mind, I'm like, shouldn't you all be saving some of this money for your kids or your future?
I gotcha.
So, brother,
they got going out, putting
it is a separate
down
show.
Payment on cars.
Listen, it is a separate show, but it's not.
Nope.
It's all wound up there together.
Yep.
And it's just one more ding, one more, come on, man, right? And it hurts. And it's just a reminder, right? And the first time all your buddies start posting their first day of kindergarten pictures, that's going to come back. And they start posting their high school graduation, all that's going to be there. And so your everything about your life, your marriage, your work, your friends, your church group, anybody you're connected with, the faster you can resolve in your heart to put that stuff down, the better and lighter you're going to walk through life. So instead of it hurting and going, what do you guys do? Man, your friends are your friends. Either disconnect from them or go over there and say, you bought a car, you're an idiot. Let's go for a ride, man. Right?
And maybe it's because me and my wife are working the baby steps and they're not.
It's all wrapped up together.
That, man.
You know?
Yeah. And I would say, it comes back to, I like that you're aware of this, and I like that you're able to name it.
Beautiful.
And the fact that you would just free flow and talk about the kid thing, that's a big chunk of this, but you guys coming back and being in focus on what it is you're doing. You and I know people love to live fake rich. Okay, people love to play like everything's okay, but the reality is what's happening inside their house, you really don't know, and it's really none of your business. You want to work your plan and your steps to get to where it is you want to go. So I just would redirect that energy and let it fuel you toward what it is you can control, you and your wife together.
Here's a quick tip. Whenever you feel your buddy calls and says, hey, come check out this car. I just got a $7,000 STEMI, and I'm going to go buy a car with it. And you get that initial pissed off, that feeling, say, hey, I'll be over tonight. You can give me a test drive. I want you to lean into it, and I want you to celebrate it with them, even if it's hard. Even if it's hard. When they post something about their kid's Halloween costume, and your first thought is, come on, why not us? I want you to make sure you got candy for that little kid. Right? I want you to lean into that stuff, and over time, that spirit of frustration, that spirit of jealousy, that spirit of why them and not me, you begin to celebrate life with them, not against them. And here's the thing. You and your wife opted in on this baby step deal. Don't go around hating on other people who aren't as enlightened and as wise as you are choosing to be. Okay? Part of this journey is, like, we talk about you don't get to go out to eat and you miss out on those things. We probably could do a better job talking about your friends will not want to be friends with you, or you will resent other people because they're living a life that you wish you were living, but you're making the hard decisions now so that down the road you've got more gas in the tank.
And the reality is you're going to put yourself in a position to be able to do more. You're living the example right now. As I call it, you're going through the tough, right? You're going through the tough part right now. And on the other side, brother, it's better. It really is, but it is a matter of kind of withstanding that. And I want to encourage you to do this. What you're feeling and what you talked about with John and I here, I want you to get with your wife, and I want you guys to sit down, and I want you to ask each other, hey, how do you feel? Or what do you wish you could tell them? And I wish I could tell, and I want you guys, once you get kind of that out of your system, now go back to, hey, what can we control? Why are we doing what we're doing? Right. What's the stuff we're motivated to do? Yep. And dream out loud and kind of work together, but it's important to stay aligned.
Yeah, just as hard as it is to do the hard work of putting down those heavy, ugly, mean emotions, man. Especially don't go to the internets and leave comments. Solves nothing.
Yeah. Oh, people get digital muscles all the time.
Man.
It's ridiculous. I read something. It said hate is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die.
That's right. And that's what jealousy is
the same way.
Jealousy is too.
So, in that, you got to find a way to channel it. And again, I appreciate you calling in, David, being able to let that out.
Oh, you're a brave dude,
but
man.
You are brave. He really is, and he's aware. But it's really important to not only let that out, but then come up with, what's the system that I'm going to do? What's my decision tree in handling this? Because it's going to pop back up.
That's right.
And I can't let it get to level 10, so I can address it at level 2.
That's exactly right. So in the nerd world, we call this the fundamental attribution error. And an easy way to think of it is, I'm going to get inside your head, and I know why you did what you just did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm making a decision as to, he cut me off in traffic because he is the worst. Not, hey, he cut me off in traffic. He's probably hauling over to the ER to see somebody that he loves. We get to choose, while I'm driving my little car, which one of those scenarios I put that driver into. One of them is going to make me wreck my car, give me high blood pressure, like make my liver fail, right? The other one is going to give me peace. Right? It's going to help me honor my fellow man, my fellow woman.
And allow you to extend some grace.
And I'm going to live longer, too.
That's really cool. Well, listen, I want to thank all you callers for taking the time to call in. I want to thank producer James Child and associate producer Kelly Daniel. Thank you, John. We had a lot of fun. Good show here today. This is The Ramsey Show.